This is SME on Point coming to you from the Results Operating Center at the IEC in Pretoria. And this time we are taking a look at, with 2 days left, what are the issues that we've been able to cover over the month of October. You'll remember that since the 1st of October, this slot has been going out to small businesses and to find out their views about these upcoming local government elections that are due to happen on the 2nd, or rather on the 1st of November. And of the 26.3 million registered South African voters, you can be assured that a lot of small businesses and small business owners will make a large part of those registered voters. What will be their deciding factor as they make their X on the ballot paper? What other issues are they grappling with as small business owners? Let's talk about the issue of electricity. We know that load shedding has gripped the country. Will this impact on their decision as they make their mark on Monday? I will be speaking to economic analysts and, or rather independent analyst and economic lecturer, Ms. Precious Lukayeni, who is quite well versed on the issues of the small businesses, and she's going to be giving us her views. But I have tracked a couple of, or rather two small business owners that we spoke to during this October, and some of the two issues that are pressing, which is firstly the issue of shelter for informal traders, and another issue is the issue of access to markets. In the second week of, or it was in the first week as a matter of fact, of October, we went to Soweto where we met Dumile Mieza. She's an informal trader, and she had a lot of issues about not having shelter. You'll remember that as an informal trader, you will use whatever demarcated space there is, and there's also the issue of, municipal bylaws. Sometimes they get harassed by police. So these are some of the issues that she pointed to us that afterwards I would like Ms. Lukayeni to give her views on the weight of these issues. Let's take a listen to Dumile Mieza.
Basenzela ama-shelter because siya-sacrifice when it comes to imvula iyanetha, siyanetha, siyashaya ilanga, sishaya umoya, all those things ziyas-affecta and iy'toko zethu ziyamosheka si-end up sithengise into ezingekho right.
And that was the view of Dumile Mieza. She's an informal trader in Soweto. Let me bring in Ms. Precious Lukayeni. As I said, she's an independent analyst and also an economic lecturer, to find out about her views on the informal traders and the kind of problems that they have and what she makes of these issues and how much weight they will be carrying on Monday. Ms. Lukayeni, welcome to SME on Point. Thank you very much. You've heard what Mieza had said. What do you make of the issues that will be carried by particularly the informal sector on Monday when they cast their vote?
Thank you, Diam. On Monday, when these informal traders cast their votes, they will look at those basic issues like the electricity, the shelters in particular. You see, the informal traders, there's no need for them to be harassed by the police because the South African government allows informal traders to trade. Because as an informal trader, I don't know what the police want from you. I don't know whether there's a license to trade on the street, but there's no need for them to be harassed. I think that is what these informal traders will be looking at when they vote on Monday, because there's no need truly for the government, the police to harass them. So they will look at things like those. And the shelters are critical for them. Not only that, but the whole support of informal business. Remember, informal businesses usually are run in the place of a formal job. Those are the people who do not have other jobs and they tend to informal trading. And therefore, they need proper government protection. Of course, there are challenges when it comes to funding them, but a shelter can be provided for them. They'll be looking for such things.
Yeah, I'm wondering about when someone like Ms. Mieza, when she has to measure whether taking the time out to go out to a voting station and cast a vote and actually selling her wares, where would she put her priorities at this time around? Because, the life of a small business owner is really quite different. You can't afford to take time out for a lot of things that are quite important. Do you expect that people like informal traders could come out in their numbers?
You see, one of the challenges or one of the reasons why informal traders fail is because the owner is the only person in the business. So if he goes away for whatever reason, there's no trade, there's no business. So I think the informal traders will have to weigh what is important to them. But it is important that they go and vote so that they can have a voice. However, while they go and vote, there will be no one to sell Mr. Mias as a produce because he's the only owner, he's the only participant in the business. That is one of the challenges that face small businesses.
Ms. Lukayeni, the access to market is a big headache as well for a lot of small business owners, irrespective of where they are trading or their status. Finding a market for your goods and your wares and your services remains a problem after particularly funding. I did meet on the second week of October, I did meet with Prince Msomi. He is the founder of Pitch Up Health out in Pretoria at the Innovation Hub. They make these health supplements to keep people healthy, and he was complaining about the access to market, and that during these elections what he will be looking out for is a local municipality or councillors or people that will be able to help him, to help his business grow and actually access to markets. But listen to what he had to say for yourself.
The truth of the matter is we need the policymakers. So as the elections are coming, we are hoping that we can create partnerships with our municipality officials so that we can be able to take our products to the higher levels, and the very same products that we are producing, it can create jobs. And when we are creating jobs and when the demand is high for these products of ours, we will be able to hire more people, and this will contribute in the GDP of the country.
Ms. Lukayeni, the weight that the municipal officers are carrying is one that they have to make sure that small businesses around that municipal area, they're taken very well care of. Do you think that issues such as access to market will have a huge bearing on Monday for entrepreneurs such as Prince Msomi?
Access to markets is very complicated because first of all, while the local government can do something to support the small business, but the small business have to have the means to market the product himself or herself. So Msomi also is a challenge of marketing the product himself. One of the challenges also that face small business is the marketing part. Look, the marketing budget for any product is very high, and the small business do not have the luxury of that kind of budget. So that is why they find it difficult to access the markets. Even when they do access the markets, the requirements of a particular buyer of the product maybe puts requirements that the small businesses cannot afford or cannot meet. For example, I think I did mention this to you. One lady who was catering, he went to tender for a catering business with a particular local municipality. And then they wanted to go and inspect her kitchen. Her kitchen she does not have electricity. That also kicks her off out of the market immediately. So I think what should be done by local government, if they are serious about supporting small businesses, they should help them in marketing the products, not necessarily buying them themselves, but they must help them in marketing the products so that they can have access to markets. They must expose them to business fairs, business expos, all those kinds of things. It may be free if the municipality has a business expo where people pay for. There should be small businesses who access that free. That is what I think the small businesses need from local government. I don't think they need local government to actually buy the product themselves. They need support from the local government. As I say, that the local government can expose them to the markets and help them. For example, there are ISO 9000s and ISO this and that, but small businesses can't afford those kinds of things because they are expensive. And if their products do not meet those standards, then they will have no access to markets.
Yeah. Ms. Lukaeni, before I let you go, let's assume that there is, of these 26.3 million registered voters, there are entrepreneurs there who are not yet, have not made up their decision about who they are going to vote for on Monday. What guiding principles or steps can you give them about what to look out for in a local councillor or a ward councillor as they make their mark on Monday?
All the political parties and independent candidates have sold their manifestos. So the manifesto of a party or an independent candidate is a promise to the potential voter. And that manifesto must meet the expectations of the voter. So when they vote on Monday, they will look at which party whose manifesto meets their expectations. However, though the manifesto is a promise of the party to the voter, and the voter has certain expectations, there's reality. The reality will determine whether the promise was real or the expectation was real. But when the voters go and vote, they must look at the manifesto that meets their expectations, though the manifestos look more or less the same.
Right. So, yeah. I think that's all from Ms. Lukaeni, Precious Lukaeni. She's an independent analyst as well as an economic lecturer in KZN. Thank you very much for your views on SME on Point. As I said, 2 days left before the local government elections get underway. SME on Point was coming to you from the Results Operating Centre in Pretoria. We will be back in studio again next week, Friday, to see, what has been happening during October and what entrepreneurs felt about this entire process. But that is all from us from today.